Hi, I'm Henry, and this is what may be the first in a series of videos. We'll see how it goes, covering up basically any topic you can think of. Today's topic is 0 and O. Sounds simple when you think about it. There's more to it than that. Specifically, uppercase O versus 0. They're not the same thing, even though they look the same. The O is a letter of the alphabet, and the 0 is a number. So they can't be interchanged. You can't never use one in the place of the other. It's never appropriate because they're so different. But sometimes it's hard to tell them apart. If you look at some printed O's and zeros, you'll see that there's very little difference. Most of the time, the 0 is shown a little bit narrower and the O a little bit fatter. Sometimes there's no difference. And if somebody writes these, it gets even worse, because how do you know if they're writing an O or a 0? This difference, can be very crucial. You know of circumstances. What if you're transferring or copying a VIN number for an automobile or serial number on the product? How many times have you looked and said, oh, is that an O or a 0? What should it be? And you know that the results could be very dramatic. If you make an error here, it can cause all kinds of grief down the line. And this is because these numbers or characters end up most of the time in a computer. And a computer sees a big difference. It doesn't see it similar. They're very different, as you can see from the graphic. And it will process an O, would give you a completely different outcome or result than a 0 would. So you can't mix them up. Now, in an everyday application where we run into this all the time, and the part that frustrates me the most is telephone. Telephone dial contains digits, numbers, and characters, letters. And I think the problem here that occurs the most is people calling a 0 an O. And they're not the same. Then you can see they're not the same button. If you push an O is a 6 versus a 0, which is 0. And I think this all started with somebody once upon a time saying dial O for operator. You do not dial O for operator. If you dialed if you dialed O, you're not going to get the operator. So that statement is false. And just the other day, it used to be that the phone company always got it right. But the other day, I contacted directory assistance for a number. It was in my area code, which happens to be 610. And they said area code 610. I was aghast, so I wrote them a letter. I said, hey, if I dial the number you gave me, I'm not going to get the party you say I will. Your information is giving out the wrong numbers. They did reply to me, and what did they say? Oh, well, that's okay. You seem to be the only one having a problem with this. If we all work together to pay attention to these little things and make these corrections, we can help stop the slide of society into chaos. Between you and me working together, just perhaps we can delay ever so slightly the end of civilization as we know it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Who knows, maybe there'll be more of these. Have a good day.